welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be staking out our garden for this spring and summer, and then maybe even into the fall, I don't know. But Amber's munching on a crunchy brownie that Emily made. I turned on the camera before she was done. It's a sign that she has a sweet tooth, y'all. Like, now, y'all can confirm it. It's true. Anyway.
It's her fault.
Yeah. So, we've got these IBC totes back here that we're going to need to move. And I turned the camera on mainly so you guys can just kind of see the thought process that I'm putting into this.
As we're having it.
As we're having it, yeah. So, you get kind of the raw, unedited footage of us figuring this out. I am not an expert. What?
Of you guys being dummies.
Of us being dummies, Michael said. Hey, people like our banter, okay?
Right, they like us. Doesn't matter if you do.
Yeah. You have to love us. You don't have to like us. So anyway, this is where the garden is going to go. It's going to get a lot more sun in the summertime. I know that this area got a ton of sun this last summer when we were here. So I also have learned some things in the past about paying attention to where the water's going. Some of you have sent me some really awesome books about growing a food forest and using nature to do it, and it just, I don't know. It's really awesome. And reading nature signs. I've gotten so many awesome books about gardening and stuff, so thank you guys for that. But this is downhill, so it goes uphill that way and comes down like this. So I'm planning on wherever I put it, I'm going to have 25-foot long rows, and I'm going to have 4 of them. But I'm going to run them, instead of, in the past I've run them with the slope. But then I learned really quick that all of my water was just going to go right to the bottom. And all of the stuff at the top was really dry, and all of the stuff at the bottom was really wet. And I didn't expect that, so I didn't plant it that way. So my tomato plants at the end grew up big and beautiful, and the ones at the top struggled and died because they didn't get any water. So I'm not making that mistake again.
No.
I will definitely be putting them, opposite of the slope, so that when it rains, ideally, maybe even dig some trenches or something so that when it rains, it will water that top bed and then go down and water the ones below it. Also...
What about,
Oh, okay, hang on. Michael's going to demonstrate.
It like this? Like a staircase.
They can't see. They can't see you.
Well...
Put it in here where they can see you.
How am I supposed to show it to them? I don't have that balance.
You don't have that balance. Okay.
Right?
I don't know, like this.
So what Mikey's talking about is, you got to picture these as the garden beds.
And so stairs.
So
like
it would be a garden bed.
No.
Or it would be a...
No, like a row going downhill, like that, followed by another one that grabs it from the end.
Like this.
Okay, so it would be more...
Yeah,
zigzag-y.
like
a zigzag.
That's not a bad idea. We could try that.
Right?
Instead of going straight, we could try that as zigzag, because I was trying to think of how we could trench it around, but that's a good idea, Michael.
Right? That is a good idea.
Yeah, and with the way that the water comes down the driveway right here,
right?
We could make that go into the highest point, and then make the first row go like this, and the second row go like that, and then...
But then we also have to worry about this puddle, and that puddle over there.
Well, the garden's going to be a little bit further back than all this, but still, this is all going to be filled in with, topsoil and mulch together and,
We're going to do our best.
That's still going to be a muddy mess for quite a while.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
so,
definitely.
For at least 5 years.
So,
hopefully,
we're hoping that this does stay pretty wet down here, compared to further up the mountain, and so I'm really hoping that will... We're going to raise the beds up just a little bit and mound them to try to get the initial roots of the plants high enough above the ground that they're not being so wet that they're rotting. But as they grow bigger and it gets drier throughout the summer, I'd like to think that the roots are going to reach deeper, and the soil down here deep down is going to be holding a lot more moisture than further up the mountain.
yes.
That's my theory.
Hopefully
so,
it works that
I
way.
could be wrong, but I'm just going off of what I've read and past experiences. And, So I think we're going to have to take out these small trees right here.
We could take all your guys' ideas on different ways to drain, like a drainage for this system. Or if it does stay too wet, some way to help keep it from getting
too wet.
Extremely wet, you know, because you don't want the ground extremely saturated because you're going to end up with a whole bunch of root rot and all sorts of issues with it.
If it becomes an issue, then we'll divert the water that comes down here. We can build like a swale or whatever and then send it off to the side instead of through it.
Right.
And then if it's just with dirt, we could always fill it back in and redirect the water a different way to go down our kind of zigzaggy.
Right.
The zigzag pattern is
I'm just wondering if other people out there have had to deal with really moist, you know, like really wet areas for...
Right.
And if they might have some solutions that won't have to be altered every time the weather changes.
Right. Yeah.
Isn't that a simple problem? Just add like a few tropical trees there at the bottom.
Yeah, and we could plant water-loving trees at the bottom.
We could.
And that they would do good.
Yeah.
So fruit trees. No, and they would get, okay, and so another thing I've learned about fruit trees is that generally you want a wind block from the north wind.
Yeah.
So a lot of them in our growing zone are fine as long as they have a wind block. If they're open range and get hit with that winter cold, then they can die. But you can grow them here if you have a wind block. So that would be perfect because that's north.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be perfect because it would not, they wouldn't get too much wind, but they would also get plenty of sun through here. All right.
All right. Well,
So-
maybe we should start measuring it out.
Right.
And I mean, of course, more stuff will have to be cleared out of where the garden area is going to go because y'all might not be able to see it, but there's still stumps and a whole bunch of stuff that will be in the way of the garden area.
We're going to need a pretty good sized garden, but I can't promise anything, y'all, but I'm trying to appease Wiley and go smaller this year.
Yes.
You say that, and you said 4 40-foot-long ones.
No, 4 25-foot-long rows.
Yes.
Okay, that's
But then
that's
I
more
can't
manageable, but
promise
still.
that there's not going to be, like,
Excess.
other stuff, too. I'm trying. I can't help myself. I want to grow everything.
Well, at least the
Also,
plants will be
by
all
the
right.
way, I want to put this out there now. I do have a upcoming seed giveaway. I have partnered with a brand. I'll tell you about it later. This isn't the promotion, but I want to start getting you guys excited about it. If you're a gardener and you love seeds, especially non-GMO, organic, non-hybrid seeds, then you're going to want to check out this giveaway because you could win some free seeds. So that'll be upcoming, probably closer to the end of February. But I will get you guys that information as soon as I can. But anyway, yeah, that's going to be awesome. I'm so excited about that one. I've already got my irrigation planned out. And that way I can have water. When I do need to use the water, I'm going to try to use the rain that comes down. We do probably need to set up some kind of rain catchment. And that might be coming in the future. But we might have to do that.
Right.
Because
that'd be a really good idea. With the amount of rain and stuff, it would be a really good resource to gather.
It would definitely be a good idea.
You know.
But it's trying to figure out how to catch the water coming off the side of the tarp. And that would be kind of hard to do. I don't know. Wiley can figure out anything.
Yeah. Yes, he can.
I just have to...
He's a very useful kind of guy to have around.
Yes. I just have to love him good, and he can figure out anything. But anyway, so Michael, I'm rethinking your zigzag idea. I'm wondering how much more room that would take up
compared to
straight rows.
A lot?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Because, I don't know. Let's say...
Because you realize that when it's like 4 foot on one end and it's like 10 foot on the other, that gives me that much more space to plant in. And
there's not a tree there.
Yeah. So start at the 10-foot mark.
This is 23.
Are you at 10?
No.
Start at 10. Because it's broken. Our big tape measure has seen better days. I can't even see Amber over there.
I'm over here.
Yeah, she's over here by the guineas.
There you go, 35. That'd be 25.
Okay. That fits good there, but we need enough for 4 of those.
So it'd be 25.
We could probably put 1 more up here. Or 2, 1, well no, the further we get that way the better.
I was going to say, shouldn't we go a little bit further back? Like this should be the first row and then go that way with them?
Yes. Except I do want to leave room for fruit trees back there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, this would be the first row. Like, let's say right on this side of this pile
Yeah.
will be this row.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
that sounds good.
And then we want to do 25 feet for these. And then so, how wide do you, like, are that's
4 foot.
4 foot?
And then 4 foot walkways in between. That way we have
You
room
said
to...
that was going to be like, what, 30?
I think 36.
36? So here, Mikey, let's go. Here, you walk down that way towards the coat. And let's go to 36 feet.
Is that with the added 10?
You're at 10 feet right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you'd want 46 feet.
Okay, pull it tight. So that would go from about there to all the way back there.
Okay.
And if we move those IBC totes, still be able to plant fruit trees back there.
Right. My goal is to plant 2 fruit trees this year. And I'm not sure what variety they're going to be yet. But at our last place, we grew we were growing 2 or 3 different varieties of apples. We had several peach trees, several different varieties of pears. We had plums, and we had nectarines growing. And so, if that gives you any idea of what we'll be growing here, that, that's that. So, it'll be one of those varieties, I'm sure. But I want to plant at least 2 fruit trees this year. More would be better, because you never regret, the best time to plant a fruit tree was 5 years ago. The second best time is right now.
Yeah.
And so I want to try to plant as many as I can. That was kind of my biggest thing. And the last time we moved to Landis, Wiley and I would just collect fruit trees. Every year we'd just add. And then it would stage them. And then, when it came to harvest, our idea was that one would fruit and then the next would fruit. Or that, when one started to die, the next one was starting to produce. And, yeah.
So on and so on.
Right. In theory. I base these opinions off of what I've read on the internet and out of books, and you can't always believe everything you read, right?
Right? No,
So,
you can't.
yeah, you gotta do your own research and be prepared. I stole that line from Mark and Debbie at 2 Old People on a Couch. Anyway, so, yeah, we're obviously gonna have to take out some of these trees over here.
Mm-hmm.
And get those stumps up.
Yep.
And then fill it in.
Yeah. As Wiley, grinds up all the topsoil, we can bring it over here, fill in those, and then fill it all together.
I need to get some leaf rakes. That way we can go up there in the woods, kind of where Wiley cleaned with the brush hog last year.
Yeah.
And we can all rake the leaves into a pile, and then we can use the tiller. We have a 4-foot tiller for the back of our tractor. And Wiley can just take that and just mulch it all in with the topsoil, and then he can scoop it up and bring it down here. And so I really need to get some leaf rakes to...
Okay, but you're making that far too complicated. We have a tractor with a bucket. We just move it along, pick up some topsoil as well, because it won't matter.
Yeah.
And just pick it all up there and mulch it down here.
I don't know. however you guys want to do it. If you want to do it, if you do it, you do it your way. If Wiley does it, he can do it his way.
Right. It all depends on who's doing what here.
Yeah, I don't care.
Fair enough.
Same.
As long as it gets done.
Yeah. Same. Still the same stuff.
Right.
You're just. Yeah. Anyway.
Your way is just more work.
Yeah. So our next step is going to be cutting down these few trees, which really isn't all that big of a deal. We've already got a pile of trees going on over here that we need to, we'll just keep adding to that until we feel like dealing with it. And then, or we get this all flattened out, and then we burn that pile over here, and then we can mix in all that ash.
Right, and that would be really good for the ground right there.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. And once I know where we're going to put the garden, every time we clean out the wood stove, we can bring it out here and mix it in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to mix in too much, though, because then it might, be too much.
Yeah, not too much, but I mean, if we were to burn all that and mix it in with all the new, topsoil that we're going to be bringing in, that would be good. Getting done. Always forgetting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. I wish we had rabbits or, and chickens. We have guineas, but they don't really, we don't have a lot of stuff to compost from them. This is our first year here. This will be our first garden here, and we're trying to do it as budget friendly as possible. So anything we can harvest and make ourselves, we're gonna do, because it can get really expensive really fast.
Yes, it can.
And so we're gonna prioritize our resources and use what we have. But I wish we had rabbits and stuff. At our last place, we had rabbits and chickens and everything. And I even have this pump that you can drop in a 55 in one of those thingies and stir it, and so you can mix all of your fertilizer and then you can use it to water your garden.
Oh yeah,
it was so amazing. So it was basically a rabbit tea or a compost tea, and I put fish emulsion in there and Epsom salt and just some rabbit poo and some food scraps and some ground up eggshells and just whatever we had, coffee grounds.
Right.
And then I just went out there and watered my garden, and I swear to you, you could sit there and watch it grow. And it was all natural. There wasn't any chemicals in it. So that's my goal. But we're not there right now.
Not yet.
We will eventually be getting chickens, hopefully this year, and livestock, like rabbits and stuff again. But we have to build infrastructure. And when Wiley's working, progress slows down. So...
Yeah.
And especially lately since he's been hurt too.
Yeah. Got to keep him from hurting himself.
Yeah. Alright, anyway, so I'm going to go out there and I'm going to mark it. Y'all need to grab the tape measure again and I'll mark where you're at so we have kind of an idea. Of course, this marking is probably going to wash away next time it rains, but at least we'll have an idea.
Yeah,
right?
So just mark the trees and use something more permanent, like those sticks. They'll probably get moved, but more permanent.
Yeah? Okay. I'll mark it and then... I'm going to kind of mark it along the tape measure too, so we kind of have an idea. Let's see. So you're going to 35. You're at 10, right? Mm-hmm. Idea of the line across. Are you at 35 right here? Alright. Uh-oh. You got caught on that same branch last time. I think you So you can, yeah. So you can also fix nitrogen in the soil by growing beans. So let's grow beans instead of locust.
But wouldn't it be better if we got a tree? Because eventually it'd go much deeper than beans.
Yes, it would go deeper than beans, but they have thorns that hurt really bad. And they're invasive.
Rooster's was just over there pecking at the freaking spray paint on the ground.
Oh, I wonder how it tasted.
Fair enough, but there's many other trees that we could plant in.
They are literally wild roosters. They came over from the neighbor's house, and our livestock guardian dogs just adopted them and keep them alive.
Now he's over there. See?
They just roost wherever they want. Emily throws food out for them since they're here and it's wintertime. But other than that, they take care of themselves.
Do whatever the hell they want to do.
Yeah, they do. So anyway, that's where it's going to go. Our next step is taking out the trees that are in the way, clearing that up around it a little bit more. When we were measuring the 25 feet, I wasn't thinking about there being a walkway on both ends of it. So, yeah.
Alright, so what, we gotta go like another 8 feet out?
Probably.
4-foot walkway?
Yeah. Yep. So if we took down this pine tree, I'm not opposed to taking down that pine tree.
Right.
And then that skinny tree back there, and these couple, and then those few back there by the IBC tote.
Yeah.
Clean that up a little bit back there, and then be able to plant fruit trees at the bottom. And then, ideally, as it's watered, everything will work its way down through each bed, and then into the fruit trees.
That would be
If you have a better idea and more experience than we do, please drop it in the comment section.
Right.
Because
we're always open to some good, useful advice.
The problem is I like to experiment too much, and then I'll have, a bunch of experiments going on at the same time, and then you can't really isolate which one worked and which one didn't.
Yeah.
I don't usually have that control one that's just normal. They're all experiments.
Right? Just don't know really how it all works.
I'm not a great scientist.
Oh,
you found a bunch of tiny pine cones.
Yep, and there's these little ones.
Oh, that's so cute. Look, she found little tiny pine cones.
Little baby pine cone.
I found another one that's smaller.
Oh my goodness. I'll take this one back.
Let's see how small they can go.
Yeah, look at that one.
And
That
then
one's
I found
really
this
small.
one.
But you can't see it because my face. So tiny.
And then I found this one.
Oh, I marked myself with orange. So Michael's out there staking it out. We're going to have to take out these trees, and then we're going to have to bring in stuff, dig up these stumps, and then I would like to till everything in that we have that we can till into it. And then after that, we'll use some of that pond liner and stake it down and cover it with that pond liner.
Yeah.
After we've made our,
mounds for the rows.
Yes. And then it's going to be kind of like a hugelkultur method because we're going to leave a lot of we're going to till in a lot of the smaller sticks and stuff. So it won't quite be hugelkultur because we're not going to dig it out and put logs and stuff in there. But that might come in future years, but we don't have the time to do that this year. So we're just going to try
Not if we want to actually get a garden planted and producing this year.
Right, exactly. So we need to make sure that we mix a lot of that in, and mixing in a lot of other natural materials like leaves and the topsoil we can get around here. And then we can make our rows, cover it in plastic, and then wait.
Yep.
And then when it's almost time to plant, we'll work on getting a fence around it. The only reason I want to put a fence around it is because I want to keep the dogs from running through it when they're chasing off possums and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we don't want the dogs in there making a mess out of it.
No, and the dogs have a history of liking to go in my garden and lay in between the plants. And then they kill all the little plants underneath the big plants. Because it's all shady and cool in there. And I don't want them laying on all of the plants. So we need to put up a fence. We do have some fencing wire like that 2x4 or I guess it is 2x4 wire fence. We have some of that. We have some hog panels, but I'd prefer to save those for arches. And that's about it, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll put a fence around it, and then we can install the irrigation, and then we can plant.
Yeah. So it's going to be a process, but it'll be well worth it in the end.
And I can't wait to show you guys what I have planned for the irrigation. It is going to be awesome possum.
Oh yeah. It is going to make things so easy.
So we're gonna make off-grid gardening look like a breeze. If you know of anybody that sponsors like weed fabric, send them my way.
Right? Definitely.
I will install that weed fabric and let you know all summer long how it is doing.
Right? How fantastic!
Yeah,
it is.
it'll be great.
So when do we fast forward to growing season and see you two failing?
Hey, no, we get food out of the garden. The problem is
Okay,
y'all
okay,
eat it as it grows.
Let me rephrase that. When do we fast forward a few months and see it just be a total mess because no one's come out here to take care of it?
That's why we put down weed fabric, so we don't have to fight the weeds so bad.
Right? Then it doesn't take so long to take care of.
Yeah. See, if you prepare better, it makes the life through the growing season easy. I'm pretty sure most gardeners do not have the Pinterest garden or the Instagram garden. At the end of the season, it's hot, you're tired, and the weeds grow really good in those environments.
Yes, they do.
Fair enough.
I do not usually have a pretty garden at the end of the season.
Glad you admit it.
Yeah,
Starts off nice, though. We have, high expectations in the beginning, and then it just kind of, goes...
Right, but we're getting better. It's all about getting better. Failure is not an option when you have to grow your own food.
Right.
So, the only thing is will I be more successful this year than I was last year?
That is the goal, as long as you do a little bit better than last year.
Well, I mean,
My problem is I love plants too much. So I want all of them.
Thankfully, this time, you don't have a choice. We have to make the garden work, or else we aren't eating.
Yeah, right. Yes. Okay.
So that's incentive.
Right. Yes, it is. All right. I guess we should end this, because...
Right.
Yeah, it just...
Save something for next time.
Yeah, it feels so good standing out here in the sun, though.
It really does.
But anyway, all right, I guess this is the end. We're going to go record Amber's video
I was going to say, enough with her nonsense. We need to go work on my nonsense.
Yeah, we're going to go work on cleaning out the camper.
Yeah, I've really got to get it cleaned out because my rooftop AC unit is on the way, and I would like to be able to install that.
Yes, and not trip on things.
Yeah, not have a whole bunch of mess to work around.
Yeah, all right. So we got to move on. We love y'all.
Right? Bye, guys.
We'll see you on the next video. Bye.